You grew Linkifi to 6 figures monthly revenue without any venture capital. This is the fastest way we've seen.
I managed to get myself featured in Forbes, bank rates, the New York Times.
You give a very big hint, I think, in the workshop. You talked about using Outlook. Expectation setting is the most important, I would believe.
And that's when I started a personal finance website. I got diagnosed type 1 diabetes. And the helpful content update took out all of the affiliates.
Unless you're manipulating, but I think, again, it's a good thing.
If the journalist is asking for 3 tips, then give them 3 tips. Don't give them 20 tips.
How do we stand out?
Email the right journalist.
No, dear sir.
No.
So today we're going to discuss about link building with PR and actually the exact ways of doing PR. Can you tell something about yourself, about your company, how you started from this to this?
Yeah, so I was running a fish and chip shop business straight after university. I got a degree in economics and then took over the family business of fish and chips for 12 years. Saw the industry sort of in decline. And that's when I started a personal finance website to try and earn some extra money. I got diagnosed type 1 diabetes at the age 33. So being on my feet all day working in a fish and chip shop was going to become like an unrealistic sort of future. The personal finance website that I started earning money. I was like at $1,000 a month pretty quickly. And I started doing link building. I found out that links was an important part of the SEO equation. So I started using journalist request platforms like HARO, help a reporter out, and I managed to get myself featured and quoted in sites like Forbes and bank rates, the New York Times. And then at the same time, I was looking to outsource some of the link building to who is now my business partner. He was going to run a skyscraper campaign for me. But he saw my link profile and said, where did you get these links from? These Forbes, New York Times. He said, do you think you could do it for some of my clients? I said, yeah, definitely. So that's how Linkifi was born.
Amazing. So it was not planned. It was from the situational.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Let's start from the basics of link building. So the basics of common sense. Because I was listening it very carefully. I've made notes. I'm just going to pull it up. So the first thing I want to ask is, how is common sense related to what you're doing? It's a very important aspect to this, but I want your take. Like, you've been very upfront about like how you outreach to a journalist. How cannot you be so salesy about it? How you cannot just overpitch it? So can you tell something about how common sense and how being straightforward or pointed helps in this reaching out to a journalist to get or land a very good link, maybe from a website like Forbes?
Yeah, use your common sense and you should only be pitching stuff that makes sense. So if the journalist is asking for a particular expert, make sure you are that expert. It's that journalist as the SEO manager of a health company. You don't have the skills, the credentials, the qualifications to warrant you sending that pitch. Then you should use your common sense in how you formulate your pitch based on the journalist requirements. So if the journalist is asking for 3 tips, then give them 3 tips. Don't give them 20 tips. Don't give them 50 tips. Just do exactly what it is that they've asked for. Be concise, be helpful, add value, and use your common sense.
Okay. We used to outsource the whole process of PR and link building. Now, for example, I want to start HARO, or maybe I want to start out this. What's the first step I need to do, and how do I put the hammer on the right nail?
Make sure that you are working with clients that are suitable. That's the first step.
And what do you mean by that, if you can explain?
Clients that either fit neatly into a PR-friendly bucket.
Okay.
And clients that have verifiable skills and credentials that match that bucket. So for example, if you're working with a B2B SaaS company and you want to pitch queries, then you need to have somebody from the B2B SaaS company that maybe the chief financial officer or the human resource manager. It's a tricky niche, B2B SaaS for PR. So might not be ideal. If you've got all B2B SaaS clients and you want to try and win HARO links, it's going to be a lot harder than, let's say, if you work exclusively in the health industry, let's say, and you have clients that are medical doctors and they own a health clinic. That's a much better client base in order to do this sort of link building. So you really need to look at your clients and whether or not they are suitable for this sort of link building.
So I'll be honest, we tried HARO in 2023 and we gave it 3 months. and we had no success in 2.5 months. We were just struggling, and the thing is, I get the answer that we were working with the wrong set of clients to get the links. So we were working in different industries. I was working in a very stupid, now I can imagine. So I was trying to take link for a shutter, that external shutters from HARO. No success. We tried different ways. We tried to incorporate to the journalist request and but no success. We have a lot of chiros and physios as clients. So then this health element we picked, and there was a journalist request. We tried a lot, and but I think on the 6th, 7th day we got a success.
Okay.
And then again another success. Then again another. So we had landed 3 links from and it went to Yahoo Finance, and I think it spreads. There's something I don't know.
Syndicate, yeah.
Yeah, it syndicates, and we had a lot of links in that 3 to 4 days after 3 months of no success. And those are still the best links we've landed for that website, for that client. But unfortunately, then we did not continue because we thought, let's outsource this. But yes, now we were trying to figure this out, because this is something we really want to go into back again. So this is an N8N model. I took pictures of. I'll put this in the description, by the way, all the screenshots. Can you explain for the audience that how does it work in the N8N flow?
So you can, a lot of the journalist requests platforms are email based. Some aren't, like Quoted, and some others are behind paywalls, but a lot are email based. And with N8N, that means you can easily build a system in order to collate and collect all of these. There are other services that you can pay for that sort of do this, like anyway, like Journo Finder has like all of the aggregated journalist requests. But if you build something yourself, then you can get really granular on the way that you handle the data, and then the way that you want to use the data. So this brings everything into the email. It then extracts the data, the request information from the emails.
Okay.
There's then an AI module which analyzes all of the requests.
Okay.
And from there, you can build that however you want. You can get it to group them into very broad categories. You could get really descriptive on like individual keywords. Then we reorganize them in the way that we want to categorize them. We can then send them off to different areas of an Airtable, let's say, and then ping those over to Slack, whether or not that's for different clients or different people from within the same company that you want to pitch as. So that's how that whole thing works.
You're a workhorse, right? You work a lot.
Well, I swear, as much as anyone else, I suppose.
It looks like that. You're very much familiar with what you just say. Amazing. So cannot we just do it with maybe a tool like Instantly, where we put all the lists and then all the things happen? So this is quite detailed. N8N Flow, which is extracting the emails, getting the details, grouping them, especially that's the major part, right? Different Airtables, grouping them, and then putting them the whole automation via Slack, right? Is this something you do it for the clients, or is this something you also offer it to?
No, this is just for our internal.
Okay, so this is an idea which a person can use and maybe iterate.
Yeah.
Perfect. Got it. Okay, now let's talk about the step 1 of vetting out the websites, right? So can you mention the process like Hrefs? Do you see the DR? It matters?
Yeah, we use a number of different criteria to judge a website. DR and traffic is a great first port of call, but obviously these are third-party metrics, so it's not like a holy grail system.
Exactly.
Some websites can have manipulated DR and traffic, but we want to like combine that criteria with like, have we actually heard of the publication as like another signal? And then like, do we know that this publication includes links by way of like their editorial policy? So yeah, we use a combination of all those criteria in order to determine the validity of a website opportunity.
Okay. Now let's talk about vetting, and then reaching out to the editors, and then vetting out the list that this is the websites we're going to work with, and this is the website we're not going to work with, maybe not giving links, or maybe there's no point working with them. And then the next steps are, you are very much emphasized on the steps of building relationships, right? It's evolution in your business. You've been into a business since a long time, so that helps today. If you land a new client, you know that these are the already journalists I may have. I can reach out to them, and I can tell them that this is, you need to. So do you think relationships are very important when you talk about PR, and especially relationships with the journalists?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
because they're just getting bombarded with spam. They want an easy life, and if you give them a really credible expert and some great like information that they can use to make their article better, they're going to come back to you either for comments from the same client or from other experts that you can offer them.
I saw your pitch template. So how do you work about representation? Do you represent your client, or maybe you do it on your client's behalf?
It depends.
Okay.
You should use a combination of both.
Oh, okay. Because you are building the relationship.
The relationship can only be built if you are representing the client as a PR.
Yes, you have to be truthful about that.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But you can build those relationships as a PR. But some journalists prefer to be reached out directly from the actual person. So I won't give too much of our secrets away. But
that's okay.
It's good to know, like, over time, if you do this long enough, you realize and you learn, which approach is best. So you should do a combination of the two.
Well, now let's talk about the pitch breakdown. So I saw this and I was really impressed. You talked about you give a very big hint, I think, in the workshop, in the presentation. You talked about using Outlook.
Yeah,
I took a note of it.
Some journalists use Outlook.
The links that when you send them the email.
If Outlook has this thing called a safe link feature. So when you pitch a journalist and they happen to have an Outlook account, if you've put your, my name is Chris Panteli from Linkifi, and you've hyperlinked Linkifi to encourage the journalist to link to you if they use your quotes, Outlook will add like this weird safe tracking to that link. And journalists are inherently lazy. So if they do copy and paste your link, they'll just copy and paste whatever is in their email, which means that you're not going to get a nice clean link to linkify.io. It's going to be linkify.io and all this garbage tracking. So you want to try and use a naked URL as well and ask them to sort of check the link if they are going to include it before they include it.
So the thing is that if a journalist is using Outlook, so it's better to send the naked links.
Yeah.
And then also there's a follow-up to that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a good one. I think this was the point where you just mentioned AI. So you mentioned that the queries, you validate the query. So you're using an AI engine or maybe an N10 automation where you are actually validating that this is the query you need to reply to, or maybe go back to, and this is the query you're not going. I think this is saving a lot of human time. Back in the day 2023, when we were trying to do this was the reason we quit, because this was so frustrating. Always sitting on the platform and looking what's happening. We had to dedicated a person on it. So can you tell me something about the AI automation here? If you can tell me something.
No, this is more about AI usage in the query type. So if you're going to use AI in order to assist writing a pitch.
Exactly.
You should make an assessment on what the query type is. So if it's a purely informational query with no opinion, so a non-opinionated informational query. So for example, 3 ways that you can improve your credit score, let's say.
Exactly.
There's not really any opinion there. There's there's about 6 or 7 ways you can. These are the ways that you can suggest to the journalist. They're more looking to leverage your expertise as a finance expert rather than,
a general guy.
Yeah. So you can use AI quite heavily in that respect in order to help you write the pitch. It still needs to pass AI detection. It still needs to look human. But in terms of like the research behind it, AI is fine. If it's like a pure opinionated piece, you don't want to be using AI at all, because the journalist is looking for well-written, well-structured, interesting, your personal opinion on something. So,
and especially in the medical, you need to be very sure in such finance, fintech, medical, that you need to be very sure what you're talking about. But when it's generalized, maybe a very good example, like 6 ways to improve or 2 ways to improve. So there can be multiple ways to improve your credit score.
Yeah.
So that can be generalized. That can be AI driven.
Yeah.
Kind of like you mentioned human led and AI enhanced, right? I think that's the right way. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Okay, and then there's a safety check, removing all M dashes and all that stuff.
All the obvious stuff.
All the obvious stuff, exactly. Okay. Alright, time for a sponsor break. This episode is proudly sponsored by Inks Digital, the marketing agency that I, your host, Gundeep Singh, co-founded. At Kings Digital, we specialize into scaling businesses, optimizing growth strategies, and turning your ideas into brands that people can't stop talking about. You might be thinking self-promotion in your own podcast? Well, that's quite bold. That's because that's exactly what we do for our client. Bold strategies that bring results. So if you're a business owner or an agency who wants to level up your marketing, your processes, whether it's SEO, ads, social media, performance marketing, we're building a killer brand presence for you. If you want us to audit your website or your ads campaign, just fill up the form below. We will get back to you with a full-blown SEO audit, a complete 6 to 12 months SEO roadmap tailored to your business, and a step-by-step video walkthrough breaking down exactly how to fix and scale your organic traffic. This isn't some cookie-cutter checklist. Trust me, our team spends an entire day crafting this report. Trust me, if we're good enough to sponsor ourselves, we're probably good enough to help you crush your goals. Alright, that's enough of us now. Now let's get back to the show. So you talk about the snooze tool you've been using to email other people, and then there's a snooze tool. It's a very small thing, but I did not know about this.
Oh yeah, it's a lifesaver. So if you're managing stuff through Gmail, then there's some powerful features that you might not know about. Snooze is great. If you want to follow up with a journalist, it can be quite cumbersome to add that information to a CRM. Let's say journalist didn't link, and you want to email them and say, hey, can you include a link? You want to follow up with them, let's say in 3 days. If you then got to go to a CRM, add that, update it, is really cumbersome. Whereas if you just send the email, you can then snooze the email for 3 days' time, and it will pop back up in the inbox in 3 days' time. So it will just be a reminder. If you have your team managing it, if it's you personally managing it, you see the pop up, you know that that's a signal to then send the second follow up, the third follow up.
Wow, it's a great way to actually just come on the top of the inbox.
Yeah.
You don't have to just follow up and be very salesy about it. Right?
Yeah.
And it's inbuilt or just a tool?
Just you click the 3 dots and it's just snooze.
I don't know about this. Yeah. This is crazy. Okay. Now I want to know about the industry standards on PR. So what do you think that with the AI coming up, do you think that PR and link building is going up? Of course, that's what my take is. I can be wrong. I need your expert opinion on how is PR going to shape the future of SEO and maybe GEO or AISEO, all that stuff.
I think it's going to be as important for LLMO, GEO, whatever you want to call it, as it is for SEO. I think the good thing about digital PR is it's 2 birds with 1 stone. It's almost always a homepage branded anchor link, which in essence is a brand mention, but it's also a link. So it's a link and a brand mention at the same time. And I think the brands that will survive and thrive in the AI era will be the ones that build, develop, maintain, and focus on their brand, which is through digital PR, tier 1 media coverage, thought leadership development for the forward-facing representatives of that company.
Do you think that using PR, leveraging PR to it's kind of a shortcut to be in LLMs? That's what I've seen. I want to know.
I think LLMs like to see trusted sources from have mentions on these tier 1 sites. So yeah, I don't know if it's a shortcut. I think it's smart marketing in any way you look at it.
This is the fastest way we've seen. Literally, I've done an experiment where we've we've made a PR campaign and we outsourced it to an agency who's been working with PR for our clients in the past. So we just pitched that it was a location. It was kind of a new location coming up for its real estate. We do a lot of real estate, by the way. So it was a real estate campaign in UAE, Dubai. And we mentioned that this is a new region coming up and these are the luxury apartments coming up. We did a lot of PR on that. And I think the next week or 10 days, so we were everywhere in ChatGPT and in Perplexity, in all these platforms, Grok as well. So I think what I could imagine is that yes, it's the fastest way to get into LLMs. If you have that kind of request or something, PR is the way to go. What I can assume,
and it's a long-term play as well.
Yes, and it's a good thing. Why not? Yeah. Unless you're manipulating, but I think again it's a good thing.
Yeah.
What should CEOs and marketers do differently now to stand out, since search engines are focusing more on brands other than the web pages? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think they need to build personal brand alongside the business brand. I think that's one of the fastest ways to build real like authority and trust.
That's a perfect answer. Quick and perfect.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about leadership, because that's very important for me to understand as an entrepreneur. So you grew Linkify to 6 figures monthly revenue without any venture capital, right?
Yes.
It's all bootstrapped.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Was there a personal belief or lesson that helped you do that?
No, I wouldn't say a personal belief. I think there was some luck. We were in the right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
We leveraged like influencers. We built free links for influencers and said, look, if you like what we do, can you promote us to your audience? So that was just a strategy which just worked perfectly well at that time.
Was there a moment growing Linkify where things nearly went wrong? How did you handle that situation, if you want to mention?
Yeah, I mean, the helpful content update took out all of the affiliates. We probably were too deep into that space. I mean, that was our sort of strategy, was, heavily in the affiliate space, where with affiliate influencers promoting us. So we were probably too leveraged against that as a core sort of client, but we worked really hard to diversify that. So now we're in some really nice spaces outside of the affiliate. In fact, affiliate is almost non-existent in our clientele makeup now. So yeah, could have been bad though if we hadn't diversified quickly.
So what's the block you would change? Like if you have to redo it, what would you change?
Not just have thought, oh, this is working and this will work forever. Like, I wouldn't have kept all of our eggs in one basket. But like, if you're doing something and it's driving all of your revenue and all of your sales and it's working well, there's no part of you that thinks, oh, we need to have another 2 or 3 different sort of lead gen sources in case this one doesn't work, because you think it's never going to not work because it's working brilliant. But then the affiliates got taken out, boom, it didn't work. Stopped working as well.
Got it.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Perfect. What's a very common mistake you see around which agencies like me or business owners are doing it wrong when we talk about top tier links or PR?
I mean, there's agencies that will sell digital PR and it isn't digital PR.
It's a syndicate.
Yeah, or it's paid for links, or it's guest posts dressed to look like. But I'd say that's more of a scam than an issue. So clients or potential clients need to be aware of that. I think that some agencies aren't upfront and honest about deliverables, how long it takes. It's a slow process, and expectation setting as well, I think, is important.
Expectation setting is the most important. I would believe. I want to know about this syndicate linking. So do you actually count that as PR? Like when we used to explore the PR options, we used to meet agencies who say you can buy this package and these are like 250 websites. We will try to mention you the same article in these 200 websites. We will try to mention you. Is it the right way of doing PR, or this is all crap?
Oh, I mean, that's a PR newswire is different. That's just a paid for strategy, and it's not editorially earned coverage. There is a place for newswires, but you can't sell that as earned media digital PR.
Correct. Yes. So that's not earned. That's the right way. That's not earned. That's
not earned. Yeah.
So and how much is that in your overall strategy? Do you think that
we don't do that at all?
Not at all. No. And don't you vouch for that as well? That this is something which can affect SEO? Doesn't matter.
I think there's a place for it. Like, companies can use it to get messages out there, build some sort of
kind of hyping around.
Yeah, I mean, there's a place for it, but it's not effective. Yeah, it's not an effective link building strategy.
Yeah, let's be honest. It's not effective.
Yeah, because it's all just paid for. Google knows that. Google knows that. Yes. Google's not going to see 300 newswire links and go, whoa, this website's getting loads of great links. It knows that it's a newswire.
Correct. So the earned one is the major game.
Yeah.
What's one tool every PR or SEO should be using right now?
One tool?
Yeah.
I think a warm-up. So yeah, if you're not running email warm-up, we use Truly Inbox. Definitely use a warm-up tool.
What's one underrated outreach method you think which is still working?
Like I said in the talk, that relationship is about nurturing. If a journalist has included your commentary or accepted and ran a story for you in the past, that's a warm lead that you can just reach out to. A week later, a month later, touch them up. Hey, how's it going? Like, reconnect with journalists that you have historically been successful with in the past.
You might have different buckets, that this is the kind of niche my IFI land a client. So this is a journalist whom I have to reach for this kind of clientele. For example, medical. A journalist who's writing a lot about medical. Maybe he has that kind of section in the. So you know that when I have a medical client, this is the one, or these are the ones. This is the list.
Yeah.
So you work like buckets. You've made buckets. In your work, right?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. What's one unpopular opinion you have about AI in PR?
It's a good idea to send mass AI produced press releases. Like, there's a lot of tools now that let you send like a million emails a day or whatever it is, and it's pissing off journalists, and it's not a sustainable strategy.
Okay. Now I have a follow-up question to this. I'm very excited. How do we stand out, and how do you make sure that our email is actually, imagine it's the first one, journalist doesn't know who you are. Click.
Get it right. Absolutely get it right. Make sure your emails are working so that you know they're getting delivered. Email the right journalist. If you've got a fintech client, make sure you are reaching out to a journalist which is actively and currently writing about fintech. Hyper target your list of journalists. Make sure you are 100% on point. You don't want to email a million journalists that have written about something to do with finance. It needs to be hyper targeted. Ideally, if it's a fintech mortgage company, then reach out to find journalists that have recently written about mortgage fintech, like really, really granular, hyper targeted, and offer them value and offer them a good story and offer them stuff that they can use, make their lives easy. That's the way that you'll build relationships as well.
I think that makes sense. Any trick you want to mention here? Maybe a subject line, maybe something you saw that this is working really
short
well.
And snappy. I think the ideal number is from a few reports is like 55 to 65 characters is like the sweet spot. But you don't have to. That's not a rule that you need.
That means to the point, to the point.
Yeah, get to the point. No waffle. If you're using data, make sure you are citing the where that data is from. Back it up. Yeah.
No, dear sir.
No.
Okay. What's one book or resource you recommend for better storytelling?
Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, listen and read lots of different things. Whatever interests you. There's loads of great orators out there, people that speak really well. Use of the English language can be your secret weapon because so much is AI driven. And I'm not saying that I'm not against AI, obviously, but if you can just pepper in an interesting turn of phrase or your own linguistic style, that's going to resonate and stand out on the page amongst all of the garbage AI pitches out there. So
that's a good one. That's a good one. That was a very good thing you mentioned about that, the voice.
Yeah. I mean, the more human sounding you can be, like a dictation tool is great. If you are a true expert on a subject, then you can speak your answer. But dictation makes it so quick because you can just speak your thoughts.
Own accent,
yeah, your own voice, your own style. You can make mistakes. So I could say, let's say a journalist was asking for a HARO expert on best ways to pitch HARO. I can say, okay, as a HARO expert, the best ways to pitch HARO in my personal opinion, and I can blah, 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 and I can just jabber on my own style, my own tone. It doesn't matter if I make mistakes. It takes me 5 minutes. It's a big block of text, and then you can use AI to reformat that into a perfect pitch that's going to be your exact tone of voice, turn of phrase is going to pass or AI detection, and it's a great response. Journalists are going to love it.
So that's a good one. That's a good trick.
That's good, yeah.
What's a habit that keeps your ideas fresh? What's one habit which you really like about yourself?
Be inquisitive. Always checking new ideas out. Following other people in the same space as you as well is good.
Okay, what's one word that describes how you run your agency?
Nimble.
Nimble.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one.
Nimble is like if something happens, we can move quickly and try and.
It's kind of agility.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So and why do you think is that for?
I think it's important for any agency, any business.
It's kind of quick pivot.
Yeah.
Who's a brand you think nails digital PR right?
So a few British companies that have a lot of fun on social media with it as well. So Aldi. Audi do really well. EasyJet is another good one.
Oh, nice.
There's quite a few actually.
I'll have a look at EasyJet. Audi, I know it's doing good. Okay. So do you think if I want to start a digital PR agency, for example, right now, right today, do you think it needs a complete different setup? It's a business altogether. And does HARO is the first step towards it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that for people, for agencies, or maybe for businesses who have in-house teams, do you think that they can do it just as another thing in their arsenal, or it's a complete
there is
setup altogether?
there's a lot of setup and it is different. You can bring it in-house, but you need the resources to build a system, manage it, and make sure it's effective. So can be easier to outsource, but up to each individual business.
Do you entertain a client who maybe require another services, maybe Google Ads, maybe
No.
So you're very focused on what you do.
Yeah.
Okay. You're focused on what you're doing. Previous conversation, you said that you're not laying all your eggs in one basket, but this is something very interesting. So you are focused on your category, you're focused on what you do, but at the same time, you are very much aware that one source of revenue, one model like affiliate model in the update it hit, right? So in your focus area, in your region, there are multiple ways of getting that revenue, right? That's what we should do. But at the same time, we should not hallucinate in terms of our services. We should master one. That's what you want to say, right?
That's what we've done, yeah.
Perfect. And what about your team? How much team do you have? What kind of setup is this?
I think we're at like 25, something like that. All remote.
All remote. Okay. So, and how do you manage the remote team? What are the challenges you face on that?
The normal stuff everyone faces probably, but
okay.
Yeah, keeping up morale, I suppose. We have like morning stand-up meetings and all the things that you can.
You have huddle calls, quick huddle calls, and all that stuff. So this is a reporting mechanism. This is a hierarchy model you follow, or everybody reports to you?
We have a hierarchy model. Yeah.
Perfect. And then there's an assistant that works in that way.
Yeah.
Perfect. And do you take part in hiring? Do you take part in interviews?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
So you kind of know everybody, but you are not like working with everybody in your normal.
Yeah.
And how your normal one working day look like?
Every day is different. That's the truth. Every day is different.
So do you have days for everything? Like Monday, I'll do this.
Yeah, we do team calls on a Monday.
That's what I want.
Friday, no calls.
Okay.
But then everything can change. If a very interesting or important looking prospective client wants to meet me and they can only do a Friday, I'll open up the call and do a call with them. If something needs fixing or we have a problem, we'll call a team meeting even though there isn't one scheduled. So everything can change, but that's the sort of the normal flow of it.
So that means what I can get also that in sales calls with the clients, you are actively participating.
Yeah, I am. Yeah,
that's not going anywhere without you.
No.
Okay, that's a very important takeaway for myself. So overall, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It has been great.
Yeah, and thank you for having me.
And for the audience, you've got in and out everything about starting a digital PR setup, I would say. And but it doesn't mean that you leave your stuff and you just start this next stage. Every business needs time to think, and it's because we have a lot of clients as the viewers. So for the clients, I would say that it's best to understand how the industry works. It's best, like the differences we saw, that the syndicate doesn't work, but the earned PR works. So these are the objective of this podcast was to give the right knowledge and to make people understand that this is detailed. This is not a surface level thing. Even I was impressed with the workshop, with the presentation, that it was the detailed steps it had, the number of iterations you were mentioning, the number of automations you've been doing on for yourself. Everything can be in its own can be a complete business. And thank you so much, and hope to see a lot of conversations with you very soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for sticking till the end of the conversation with us. We hope you found as much value as we did while creating it. If you enjoyed the podcast and want us to bring more such influential guests, then please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Honestly, each like and subscribe help us keep going. It keeps us motivated to make such content which is filled with insights and valuable knowledge for you. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Anything you would like to tell us about the podcast? Whom do you want to see in the next podcast? And what kind of questions do you want to ask? And hey, just don't keep the conversation with yourself. Share this podcast with at least one person. Can be a friend, colleague, or a family member, or anyone you think can benefit from learning something valuable or getting a fresh perspective. After all, one conversation, one perspective can truly change someone's life. And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in the next episode of the Business Playbook by Gundeep.